Hello student, good morning. Today we are going to start a new lecture. This is lecture number 19 about animal behavior and ecology. In this animal behavior we will study today the control of behavior. So we start from how behavior is controlled by different mechanisms of nervous system, endocrine system, and other what you call internal or external stimuli of the environment. Okay student, we start from control of behavior, mechanism of behavior control. Internal mechanism, proximate causes of control of behavior is composed of nervous system and the endocrine system, which receive information from external environment through sensory organs. Aggressive, assertive, passive-aggressive are four types of behaviors shown by the animals, different animals. Behavior affected by territory size, food resources, habits, family and herd size of the animals. Altruistic behavior reduces fitness at the expense of fitness of other organisms. Okay students, now we see a neural mechanism of control of behavior, that is nervous system, how nervous system controls the behavior. Nervous system acts as a stimulus, filter and block unimportant and irrelevant incoming stimuli. Example of blowflies. Feeding behavior of blowfly clarify this what you call mechanism of filtering. How stimulus is filtered, unimportant stimulus is neglected. The blowfly has sensory receptors on its feet which can detect presence of sugar droplets and send information to the nervous system for processing the stimulus to detect either it is sugar or not. The fly shows response to the presence of sugar by extending its proboscis, that is a mouth part of mouth parts, and start feeding. Some feedback mechanism stops feeding. The foregut of the blowfly swells sufficiently after feeding, and before bursting of the foregut or digestive system, how it stops feeding by receiving the feedback mechanism or stimulus of the higher nervous system or motor nervous system. Okay students, you see that this is the central nervous system of different animals, right from frog, amphibians, reptiles, birds and human beings. At the top of the diagram you see a common shape of just a vertebrate embryo, forebrain, hindbrain and midbrain shown here. Frog has more or less just similar type of morphological structure of the brain like reptile and birds. Optic lobes are same. You are seeing that cerebral hemisphere and olfactory, just smell organs or part of the sensory organs, and human beings cerebellum is shown as red and optic lobes as white in frogs. Anyhow, need not to just go in details of these diagrams as we see as we read about all these things in our just respective chapters. So we go and proceed to the next slide. Here you see, dear students, mechanism of hormone action. Here you see that how the hormone action is carried out, and you see here in the right side of the corner diagram mechanism of hormone actions, and non-steroid hormones and steroid hormones, how they act. Need not to just describe in detail as we are studying animal behavior. However, I read it out for you. The endocrine system acts as releasing hormones that in turns trigger action in specific target cells. Receptor on target cells membrane bind only to one type of hormones. More than 50 human hormones have been identified. All acts by binding on receptor molecules. The binding hormones changes the shape of the receptor, causing the receptor to response to the hormones. There are two mechanisms of hormone actions in all target cells, that is non-steroid hormones or hormones with cell surface binder, and steroid hormone or hormones with intracellular receptors inside the cytoplasm binds and carry out the mechanism. Here on the left side of the corners, we see how secreting cells are secreting hormones and diffusing into blood streams and carried to the what you call target cells for carrying out the actions of relative hormones to carry out relative or different type of actions of cellular activities and ultimately the life activities of the animals. In the below diagrams we see hormone system of the what you call birds, how they are what you call controlling the aggression or rejection of the parasitic egg of the other birds. And you see here how the birds aggressions towards brood parasites, vigilance, in the nest a bird is watching that another bird is going to break down or throw out the eggs of this bird and laying his own birds so that it can be hatched out by the host birds, as this parasitic birds can't make its nest to lay eggs. Rejection of the parasitic egg, reduction of the care towards parasitic offsprings. This is also controlled by the nervous system. The blue type or white type of eggs are just a different sort of eggs, and this yellow eggs are belonging to this real parents or female birds. It will reject or throw out the out of the nest these white birds laid by these parasitic birds. Host offspring ability to compete with parasitic nest mates. Sometimes if eggs are not identified, and then the host birds is going to hatch out the eggs of the parasitic birds, and when both of the eggs of both birds, parasite and real mother's eggs, are hatched out, and the chick of parasitic birds also thrown out the chicks of the real host chicks out of the nest so that it can get more and more food and grow out quickly to escape from the nest of its foster mother or host mother as soon as she identified that this is not my own chicks and I was deceived by the parasitic bird. So this is the very just cunning nature of the parasitic bird. This is also a just behavior by the parasite birds to lay egg in the nests of host bird. Receptor in the foregut sends a message to the brain which control the feeding process of the blowfly. It stops the further intake of sugar solution before bursting of its gut. We were studying those feeding mechanism. Control of aggressive behavior in rhesus monkey is also under control of nervous system in monkey populations. Endocrine mechanism of control of animal behavior. So we see that hormone regulates behavior, such as hormone control the behaviors of the animals, such as mating behavior, aggressive behavior, aggression, parenting of the individuals, and regulation of all sorts of bodily functions. Hormone control is through interaction between the hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Hormones change gene expression or cellular function and affect the behavior by increasing the likelihood of that specific behavior occurs in the presence of the precise stimuli. This control behavior of hypothalamus, pituitary, and what you call target cells. This is called as hypothalamus pituitary axis of the mechanism of hormone action. Okay, we see that how organizational effect of hormones is displayed physiologically. Relatively permanent effects of the hormones on the structure and function of the body is at the level of organizational effects of hormones, which is a permanent effects and occurs early in the development of organisms or animal. Activational effects of hormones. This is an immediate or temporary effects of the hormones that you can say come and go with the presence and absence of the hormones. Activational effects is transient, ephemeral. That means for the time being and occurring lifelong in the animal's body. So dear students, sometimes organizational and activational effects of hormones are blended, and permanent effects occur in the adulthood of the animals. Testosterone is secreted by testes, which produce aggressive fighting ability in cats and other male animals. After removal of the gonads or removing testes or castration, the sources of testosterone in the animals do not show, that is eliminated, and so the animal doesn't show just aggressive behavior or just reproductive drive is just altogether eliminated from the body of the animals after castrations or removal of the testes. You see that effect of hormones are endocrine through blood streams or paracrine. I have already you see in the diagram. Paracrine means diffusion in the tissues or fluids of the cells, and autocrine means affecting the cells that secrete the hormones. That means affecting those cells which cells did secrete the hormones. Effects are on nervous system. So you see how behavior work controls by different mechanisms, autocrine, endocrines, and what you call hormonal method of mechanism of different type of hormones, steroid or non-steroid hormones, and how these axis of hypothalamus, pituitary, and target cells are just carried out in a synchronized or in a harmony in the what you call endocrine systems working parallel to the nervous systems to execute the life process and all activities of life altogether. As usual, a take-home message for you is that in form of a small abstract or synopsis or a summary. Behavioral evolution focuses on changes in sensory system in the brain or even anatomical changes in the structures used to carry out a behavior. It also explains useful traits of animals such as memory, perceptions or language or any other communicative modes, etc., as adaptations and functional products of natural selections. The spirit of evolution is concealed in this what you call mechanism of what you call complex paradigm of what you call behavior, nervous system and endocrine systems axis. That is what all about the behavior and control of behavior for today. Dear students, listen and read these lectures time and again to prepare for your exam. Attentive listening, writing and reading are the three collective ways of learning and memorizing your lessons for preparation in exam. Nothing like good preparations with hard work. So try to read, write and what you call listen to these lectures. If it is possible, try to read these slides loudly if you are alone, so that nobody is disturbed. So do work hard for your exams. Good luck to you and thank you very much.